All right, we're joined by the legend, Brettski. I can't believe that I even got you out of the casino. I feel like you just live in the casinos. Thanks for joining me, buddy.
Yeah, I'm surprised I left myself, but I've been running cold lately, so I figured I'd have to go back to the old parents' house and have a nice home cooked meal.
It's always good to have that safety net to fall back on in the D-Gen world. But I have a lot of casino questions for you. But you're talking about cold spells, you talk about losing. Right off the bat, most important, what's the biggest red flag when you walk into a casino or you see something, your biggest superstition? What is the one thing that gets the mind going?
Yeah, I mean, I hate dealers that call out cards. Like if I have a 14 and they have a 10 and they're like, oh, here comes a 7. I'm like, don't say that. They are never right. It's the worst thing. So, I mean, if I have a dealer that calls out a specific card for me to get and I don't get that card, I'm gone instantly.
What makes the perfect dealer?
The perfect dealer is someone that just deals cards. I mean, it's a lost art nowadays. Everybody wants to add commentary or this or that. Like, I don't want to hear you say, ooh, unlucky when I lose a huge hand. Like, I know it was unlucky. You know it was unlucky. So what are we doing talking about it? It's like, I just want you to deal the cards, and if I win big, I'll tip you and say thank you, and that's it. I don't really want too much commentary unless, if we're running red hot and we got some good rapport, then that's one thing. But especially in the beginning, I just silent as a mouse.
Do you prefer super fast or super slow dealing?
Super fast. That's another pet peeve of mine. I feel like starting it off with all the pet peeves of dealers, but like when they're like sweating it super slow, it's like, I like maybe if they look at it and they know it's a great card and they're like, oh, okay, here you go. Like that's one thing I do like, but yeah, and most of the time I just like it like short and sweet. Just give it to me straight, Doc.
Yeah, whenever I get a good dealer that's like the nice lady that is actually having me win, they always take her out and bring in the guy that doesn't say anything and is going a million miles an hour.
Exactly.
5 minutes, I'm headed out. But the more action, the better for sure. So
absolutely.
Obviously, you're a casino legend, and every legend has to start somewhere. So what was the first time you walked into a casino, and what happened?
First time I actually walked into a casino, it was in Florida. They let you play poker down there when you're 18, so I was playing poker. I got smoked in poker, and I just said, might as well try to walk into the blackjack room, see if they say anything. They actually didn't. I still get ID'd to this day when I go in Vegas, but for some reason they didn't. I lost 500 in poker. I had 500 in my pocket. I'm like, let's just do it. Put 500 on the table, played one hand, won it, and it's been a downward spiral since then. Nobody gets head over heels into gambling unless they start out with a big win. So that was mine. I bailed out of the poker session and felt like I was on top of the world.
Obviously, you play a lot of games, but what is your favorite game in the casino?
My favorite game by far is Baccarat. I never pronounce it right. Everyone tells me I pronounce it wrong, and that's fine. But there's just something about being able to bend the cards in the high roller room. Like, I'm betting 300 a hand, but I get to ruin a 30-cent deck of cards. It makes you feel like you're getting something for your money. So I love to be able to bend it and sweat it and two-side, three-side, all that kind of stuff. So definitely Baccarat. It's by far my favorite game.
Why do they let you bend the card? I've never played, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, like, you can play Blackjack for $1,000 a hand and they don't let you touch them. They don't let you do anything. But Baccarat, yeah, they throw them to you face down and you bend them. I think it's just Baccarat is kind of more of a high roller game, so I feel like it kind of evolved from like them giving people a little more leeway just because, usually you can't play Baccarat unless it's for like $50 or $100 a hand. So, and yeah, I mean, the people that like to play it have all these tactics. I gotta just bend them and look at them, but they have all these tactics. So they'll look at the side, they'll look at the front, and they'll be like, all right, this is either a 7-8 or not, and then they'll keep peeling like. They'll be like, oh, two side. And I don't know what any of that means, but I just like to bend the cards nice and slow and look at them like a little bit slower than Blackjack. Adds a little more suspense.
Do you mix up which one you're picking, or are you always playing player, always playing banker? What do you do?
Always play player. The first time I ever played Baccarat, I was going back and forth. And when you played banker, so when you bet 100 on banker, and you win, they give you the 100, but they put this little, what's called a marker up front. So you only get 95 if you put 100 on banker, but they pay you 100 and then they put the 5 up there. I had no idea what any of that was. So I ended up losing all of my money, but I had won a couple hands on banker. So I went to get up and they were like, no, you owe us $22.50. And I was like, I just lost all my money. What do you want me to do? They made me go to the ATM to pay $22.50 because I was winning on banker. I didn't know that you had to eventually, like, they were just putting those things out there. I'm like, what the hell are those things? Eventually you have to pay them off. So on player, it's just 1-to-1 normal. So I never play banker ever. So I had a guy one time betting $40,000 a hand next to me playing banker, and I was just like, buddy, I want to ride with you, but I can't do it. My hands are tied. I don't know what you want me to do. So yeah, it was, I only play player. People will sit down and be like, that's another pet peeve of mine, is like when the dealer's like, look at the board, like it's totally set up for a banker hand. I'm like, if you know when it's going to come banker, why are you on that side of the table? Like, you should just be a professional that bets $1 million every time you know it's a banker board or whatever. And, you know, so yeah, I only bet player because of that first time I had to go to the ATM to pay my markers off.
That is one of my biggest fears. And actually why I love casinos so much is because I can't get myself in trouble with credit betting. But yeah, if you actually have to go to the ATM afterwards, that'd be the worst needle ever.
Oh yeah, of all time. It was terrible.
Oh my God. All right. So you love Baccarat, however people want to say it. What is the worst game in the casino?
It's funny. I mean, I love poker, but I think the worst game in the casino might be Ultimate Texas Hold'em. I mean, I do love regular poker. Again, anyone that tells you I like this slot, I like this game, it's because they have big wins. And if they tell you they don't like a game, it's because they have big losses. I've really never won an Ultimate Texas Hold'em. There's like so many bets that you have to bet, and like you only get paid on certain ones, and it just seems like you're risking a lot to win a little. And obviously you can hit a straight flush and something good can happen. But yeah, I mean, it's probably my least favorite game is Ultimate Texas Hold'em, which is funny because I do love Texas Hold'em.
I love Ultimate too, but it is bad. Like when I walk out of a casino after busting a tournament, that's usually when I sit down at. But that and Mississippi Stud, they mess me up. I have to snoop.
Yeah, I've actually never played Mississippi Stud and I think like something called like Suits or something like that. I don't think I've ever played those like 2 games. Those are like the only 2 games I've never played. So,
well, we gotta get you out there. We'll introduce you to some more degeneracy out. So what do you think? Obviously, I've seen videos where you say everybody that's in casinos should expect to lose. You know, it's all a scam. There's no way you can win. What is the best thing you can do at a casino in terms of, is it rewards? Is it playing the right game? What is the best thing somebody can do if they go to a casino?
The best thing someone can do at the casino is, to be honest, it's to not play a lot of hands. Like if you sit there and you play 200 hands at the same bet, your variance is so much lower, and the more hands you play, the better the odds at the casino are. But if you come in and you smack 2 or 3 hands in a row, like Dana White always says that if I'm betting $50,000 a hand and I win 2 hands in a row, I'm up $100,000. I'm out of there. You know, obviously I don't bet that big, but you know, you can win 2 hands in a row a lot easier than you can win 900 out of 1,000 hands. You know what I mean? So it's like, I like to decrease my variance and just play as short of time as possible. And people will always be like, in my videos, I'll be like, I'm putting 200 on one hand and I'll lose. They're like, you got to sit there and grind it out. I'm like, that's actually not what you want to do. Like if you play 10,000 hands, you're almost guaranteed to lose. But if you sit down and put it all on one hand, you got a better shot in my book.
I have a lot of respect for you if you're able to just play 2 hands and be like, well, that's the day. I'm going to head out. Nothing else to do.
Yeah, I mean, trust me. I mean, if I win the 2 hands, I'll bring it to something else. But I don't stay in one place for too long. You know, it's funny. Like people will always like, I'll put my buddies in my videos. That's the thing. We've been doing this for years for free. So the past couple months have just been crazy that we're actually starting to make some money at it. But it's like people will hit us up like, dude, you guys are at the casino. I'm going to come there right now. We're like, buddy, we're leaving in 5 minutes. Like, we never stay in the casino for longer than 20, 30 minutes max. So it's like, people are always like, oh, let's go out, have a night at the casino, blah, blah, blah. We're like, a night? We're going to be there for less than an episode of The Office. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, it's always so quick, in and out. Like, you know, we have $500 for betting minimum, 100, 200 a hand, and we're just trying to double up and leave.
I mean, obviously you play poker, so is it tough to adjust from playing that quick, like, you know, hit and run at the blackjack table to then going to play poker, or are you a hit and run guy in poker?
I'm not really a hit and run guy in poker, but I mean, if I'm coming off like a great blackjack session, it is tough to play tight when I play poker. So I do try to separate it. Like, I like tournaments a lot. I don't necessarily play tournaments nearly as often as I play cash, but you know, when I'm going to like a big tournament or something, I'll play a little blackjack on the breaks and stuff for the vlogs and all that. But usually I try to separate it because, yeah, it is very hard to just differentiate it. You know, if I go and win 2,000 in Baccarat and then buy in for 500 to poker, it's like I'm not folding ace jack when a guy makes a big bet. I'm like, buddy, I just won $2,000. I mean, let's spin the wheel. You know what I mean? So yeah, it definitely is hard, and I try to separate the two when I can. You know, when I'm going to play the main event, I don't necessarily like to dip into the pits before or after. So, you know.
Of course. All right, so tough question time for you. Somebody hands you $1 million, and they say you have to bet it all on one thing, one time. You double it, you get to keep it, you lose it, no sweat. What is it going on?
Baccarat. Player, Baccarat, going to the high limit room, give him the face down, show me one card from the banker. I'm going to look at both of mine, then you can show me the second one. Definitely Baccarat, and I'm peeling an eye, and I know it.
I love it. I love the confidence, and I love the consistency. Yeah, like game.
Yeah. And that's my bread and butter, man. I have to go there.
All right, so a little bit of blackjack strategy here. 16 versus 10. Are you ever staying?
No. People that stay 16s against 10s, or even 16s against a 7, they shouldn't get out of bed, they shouldn't get in their car, and they shouldn't go to the casino. Like, they're going to flip a 10, buddy. I mean, they always have a 10. You at least, that's what I say to people. Like, they're like, should I do it? I'm like, you have to at least give yourself a chance. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just give up and die. You know what I mean? You can, you know, sometimes I think it's time to surrender. A lot of places don't really offer surrender, but I honestly don't know the rules of when to surrender. But if you're not hitting a 16 against a 7, let alone a 10, you should literally go home and never gamble in your life, because you're just not built for it.
Are you one of the people that believe that another player can mess up the deck in blackjack by making wrong moves?
A little bit, but honestly, not really. Like, I've been there a lot of times where, you know, someone makes a terrible decision and it works out well for me. Like, especially when I'm playing like high stakes, when I'm like, maybe I shouldn't be putting this much on this hand. I kind of just like to sit there and go with the flow. Like, even if someone, like, if I like have $1,000 on a hand and someone's like, hey, what should I do here? I'm like, hey man, whatever you think. Like, I don't want to be the one to make the decision. Like, if I tell you to hit and it buries me, and if I tell you to stay and it buries me, like, then I'm like, crap, I made the. So like, when I'm really playing high stakes, I just like to sit there and just shut up, and like, whatever the universe wants to do, they can do. I just don't want to be the one making the decisions. I'll play correctly, but other than that, I'm all set.
All right. Well, speaking of playing and gambling very smart slot machines, are you a big slot guy? I've seen you and Vegas Matt play slots, but I don't know if I've seen you play much slots by yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to admit this. I absolutely hate to admit this, but I am starting to become a little bit of a slot guy. Like I said, I mean, people only start to do things and they win, you know. I hit a couple big hand pays recently with Vegas Matt and afterwards by myself, and there's just something about being able to do a $20 spin and win $3,000 that, you know, you can't obviously do at blackjack or roulette or anything like that. But I am very conscious of, like, if I'm going to the casino with money, like, I'll almost never just be like, oh, let's go play slots. But like, if I win in blackjack or baccarat, I'm like, I want 1,000. Let's go like 300 on fire in some slots. So it's kind of something I do with the winnings already. Or, you know, for TikTok, I mean, I have a series going right now where I'm addicted to this slot machine that's $200 a spin. So every once in a while, I'll fire a TikTok just spinning that thing once. But Yeah, I try to only use my winnings to play slots, but yeah, unfortunately, I am starting to become a slot guy. I hate to say it. Young Brett would be very upset.
Video poker has set the hook on me. I accidentally played it, and I was playing Deuces Wild, hit a jackpot, and now every time I see it, I'm like, I gotta
yeah.
throw 100 or 200 in here and just see what.
Yeah, I'm kind of lucky. I hope I never learn it, but video poker, I have no idea what to hold and what not to hold, and I know that's a huge part of the game. So I'm like, I don't know how to play it, so I can't play it. But me and Vegas Mac got dealt a straight flush in 10-handed poker. We won 12,000. I was like, I mean, I would have been able to do that. You just hold everything. But yeah, it was, I don't know the holds in video poker yet. So luckily I don't have to play it, but eventually I might have to.
Yeah, Mississippi stud in video poker. Whenever we meet up finally in person, I'll teach you how to play the poker.
Yeah, I'm in.
All right, last thing I wanted to do, some rapid fire. First thing that comes to your head when I say these words, okay?
Okay.
All right, Baccarat.
Peeling.
Roulette.
Numbers.
Craps.
Terrible.
Blackjack.
Amazing.
3-card poker.
Jackpot.
Casino food.
Terrible.
And last but not least, sports betting.
Parlay.
I love it. Gotta love a parlay.
Yeah, I have to. I try to stay away from sports betting now because I don't make too much content about it. But you know, it is fun getting together with the boys, eating some Ty's buffalo chicken dip, and then firing some games off. But we'll see.
Absolutely. Well, Brettski, I appreciate you finding time to jump in. I know you got a lot going on. If there's one thing that you could say to somebody that's going to the casino today, what would it be?
One thing I could say to someone going to the casino today is keep your numbers in mind. You know, if you're going in with 200 and you want to win 4 and you got 4 in front of you, get out of there. And if you got it red tomorrow for 1,100 and you only got 15, don't lose that extra 100. So, you know, keep your losses low and your wins calculated, baby.
Some of the best advice you could possibly get. Brettski, thank you so much for jumping in. If you guys want to follow him on any social media account, I'm dropping his links in the description. Thanks for jumping in.